Welcome, everybody, to a semi-pop emergency episode of Seaweed Brain, a Percy Jackson podcast. It's a pop emergency we were all prepared for. This week is the Court of the Dead book tour, celebrating the release of The Court of the Dead, a brand new Nico D'Angelo adventure by Rick Riordan and Mark Oshiro. I, Erica Ito, attended the Court of the Dead book tour in New Jersey tonight. That's right, I was going to say public transit, but I actually did get picked up and driven. I took a friend's vehicle to New Jersey just so I could recount for you the events of the night. Stick around.
Vitamin Water Zero Sugar has great taste, zero BS, and obviously zero sugar. For those with zero room in their calendar, zero patience for slow walkers, those who get 0 hours of sleep on a Saturday night, have zero filter, zero given, and zero interest in grabbing a plain, boring water. Grab a delicious Vitamin Water Zero Sugar today.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, spoilers, not for the book, but for the book tour. If you're listening to this and you're attending the book tour within the next week, and you don't want to be spoiled for the entire thing, please tune out. This is really meant to be an opportunity for anybody who can't attend a book tour to get the inside scoop.
Or if you are going to the book tour next week, like I am, you can just prepare yourself for everything that's going to happen if you don't enjoy surprises. I think that's also very valid.
Yeah. My name is Erica. I'm joined as always by my co-host Carter. Hello, Carter.
Hi.
And I'm publicly doxing you right now for all of our listeners, just to remind everybody, Carter will be at the book tour in, Redwood City?
Redwood City, yes. 2 stops on the Caltrain from Palo Alto.
Yes, Carter will be there. Go say hi to Carter. Take a photo and then send me that photo, because I would love to see what Carter's up to. Long and the short of it, I had an absolute blast at this book tour. The book itself, I am only about 5 chapters into, because I did not get an advance copy or anything like that. I got a copy along with everybody else tonight, and I sort of could not wait and started an ebook last night. So I did pay double for the book. And I'm a few chapters in, and Carter, you're also a few chapters in, right?
Roughly, yes.
The funny thing is that if you are an actual real life listener of this podcast, you probably listened to the episode we just did where we pitched woke adaptations of characters from the Odyssey who haven't yet gotten woke adaptations. And the funny thing is that we didn't really talk about the Minotaur. The Minotaur is from the story of Theseus. But this entire book, and this whole book, is literally woke Minotaur, he is gay. There wasn't a good time for me to tell Rick and Mark that tonight, but when, fingers crossed, we have Mark on to talk about the book at the end of our coverage of The Court of the Dead, I do think we need to tell them that this book is just woke Minotaur, he is gay. There's also a moment in the first few pages of this book where Dionysus bursts into a cloud of glitter. And I had almost forgotten the way that the sun and the star Dionysus was also gay. And then I remembered, and I'm just so happy to be here. That's just a little bit about the book so far. We're going to let y'all know how we're going to break down the book once we've read a little bit into it. But I'm thinking it'll probably be 4, maybe, chapters at a time.
Seems plausible.
Not a ton more than 4. We just want to make sure that we cover it before we need to really kick into gear for season 2. And also we like to choose chapter chunks that feel like they give us a reasonable amount of content to discuss.
Episodic.
Yeah. An arc, a collection of theme enough that we can really break it down together. So we'll let you all know that soon. This is now going to become me telling Carter about the book tour. It began with a ride to New Jersey. That's right, New Jersey.
Ooh.
Let me say it one more time. I went to New Jersey.
You have made sacrifices.
For Rick and Mark.
Let me tell you, I'll be making sacrifices too. I don't know if you know on the map where Redwood City is, but let's just say that's not where I live. That's not what I'm up to on a weekend. particularly?
I went straight from work in Midtown Manhattan with my little lunchbox, with my half-drank, lukewarm Trader Joe's juice, all the way to New Jersey. I'm going to have to throw away the rest of that Trader Joe's juice because it's probably bad now. And it was all worth it. We briefly, and by we, I mean me and some of my delightful fellow podcasting friends, stopped backstage before the start of the tour because I, in my soul, just really wanted to meet Rick in person. And we had about 10, 15 minutes total back there with like a big group of people. And instead of asking questions, because I hadn't read the book yet and I didn't feel prepared to really ask thematic questions at the level I would want to ask them, I instead asked if we could make a TikTok. And that's what we did. We made a stupid little TikTok. We hung out. And that was it. So if you're wondering if we interviewed Rick and Mark, no, we did not. And that's why. And I think that was the best of all possible worlds.
Yeah. I think it was the best of all possible worlds. I think we're a little bit burying the lead. This is the first time that you've met Rick.
Yes, and I made him make a stupid TikTok. So I hope that, Rick, if you're listening to this, thank you for playing along. I love you. I love your wife. Your wife is so beautiful. Thank you for making that stupid TikTok. He could have said no, and he said yes. So
yeah,
it's all good.
No coercion happened. Free will
no
TikToks.
It was exactly like the experience of making a TikTok with my father. It was that exact experience. I think my dad is the exact same age as Rick, I would guess. Yeah, so that was that. And then we went back to our little seats, and it's important to note, for those who maybe weren't in attendance or listened to our Sun and the Star book tour recap, the incredible gag of the Sun and the Star book tour was that Stephanie Lurie, great and powerful editor of Rick Riordan, who was also the editor for Mark and Rick,
yes,
dressed up in costume as a character from the Sun and the Star, Gorgyra, to moderate the Q&A of this book tour between Mark and Rick as co-authors.
And did the voice.
And wore a wig and a dress. And the reason why this was particularly special was because Gorgyra is basically like the diegetic editor of The Sun and the Star, the book being like a woven together narrative between Will and Nico's experiences that Gorgyra keeps like asking them more questions and making them clarify certain points and like putting the story together. So it was really fun that Stephanie Lurie played the role as actual real life editor. For this book tour, Stephanie is also playing a special part, but it's not just Stephanie, it's Stephanie Lurie's husband also participating. The tour is entirely framed by the idea that we are in the actual court of the dead. And therefore, we have a judge. And the judge is a full wigged out Stephanie Lurie's husband with a gavel and everything, standing at a podium. And then we have Stephanie Lurie as the bailiff in this court, dressed up as a, demon from hell, a servant of the hells, a skeleton in a Dracula cape, also doing an accent, absolutely incredible, taking notes and literally pressing play on the PowerPoint from a laptop, upstage right of everything that's going on, just like pressing play on the laptop to the next slides. The idea, which I thought was so fun, is that Mark and Rick are being charged with crimes. And that's why they're in the court of the dead. And the crime that they're being charged with is changing. We had this great speech from the judge that in this world, everything should be constant. Things should never change. It's important that there's never change and we're always in our same ways. And Rick and Mark have both changed. They've changed their minds. They've changed careers. They've changed mediums of art. They've changed lives. They've changed the world. And because of all of these things, they need to be tried. And there's a very clear perspective throughout that the judge is evil. He even says, I am evil, a couple times, I believe, throughout. So we're not getting twisted or anything. And it was like an overview of Rick and Mark's whole life. We got to watch a slideshow of photos of them from childhood onwards.
This is new. This is new and different.
Photos of Rick in his rock band days. Lots of photos of him dressing up when he was a teacher.
What does Rick play?
Guitar.
Okay.
Which Mark also plays because Mark was also in a punk rock band as a guitarist.
Okay. So they're both electric?
I don't know what the photo, if Rick was playing an acoustic or an electric, because it was the 80s.
That could go any number of ways.
Full mullet Rick. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Full mullet Rick at the wedding. it was really sweet though. It was like you've changed. Like you used to want to be a rock star and then you became a teacher. And then you became an author and then you became a rock star author. That's evil. Boo. And that was really cute. And the audience got to hear about Mark's career and Mark's story, the reason why Mark had written books that they have written, stories that they wanted to see when they were a kid growing up, stories about queer kids, story about Latinx kids, story about adopted kids, which are all Mark's experiences. One of my favorite parts was when the slideshow got to the Trials of Apollo books, and it was like, now you want to write about Roman emperors. And we were like, boo. And the judge was like, the Roman emperors, for the record, were amazing. Really evil guys. Evil. I loved them. They were all about status quo. Just so we're clear about, again, the perspective here. And then at one point, the judge got a call from Hades and abandoned the current court and was like, I have to BRB. And so then as soon as he left, Stephanie, for the first time, like got up out of her chair and was like, now that the judge is gone, we can ask you some other questions. And then like brought out like some note cards of audience questions, which were cute. The classic, who's your godly parent?
Mm-hmm. Any advice for young writers?
Any advice for young writers question was, how many times has your work gotten rejected? I think Mark said something like their first book, Inger's a Gift, was rejected like over 40 times until their agent said yes. And then within 2 weeks of their agent saying yes, it got picked up. So, goes to show. Also, I will notable mention, Rick said that the Kane Chronicles has some promising progress as far as a screen adaptation. That just this week, they read something that was very promising about a potential Kane Chronicles adaptation. So
with Disney, right? Still?
Yeah, well, this is what we think. We think. There's been no confirmation about this, but yeah, because Netflix kind of released the project into development hell, Disney was able to scoop it up. And so hopefully this is a Disney thing.
Did they say anything about Medium?
No, nothing. But the other audience question was, can you share with us ideas for new books, basically? And so the tea on a new Nico and Will book is that technically nothing is in the works right now, but there is an idea that Rick and Mark have that they have like agreed on. And if there is time and if there is, ability, that is a book that they would love to write. There's no current plan in motion, but there is like an idea that they would like to do. So that's that on that. We'll see. I think Mark said that they have to write like 3 more books this year under contract. And Rick is obviously super busy and working on something else that isn't the next senior year adventures book, is something else entirely. And is also, producing Percy Jackson, working on potentially the Kane Chronicles. Who knows what else? Probably learning another language. Probably writing a book of poetry in Italian for all we know. But then Rick was like, you know what? I do have something else to share, and said like, this is something that he had not said last night in Boston, that he hasn't said to anyone yet. I don't even know if Mark had heard this yet. And I recorded it and I wasn't supposed to. Nobody yell at me. I'm going to play it. This is Carter's first time hearing this.
So here's what I can say. There's a lot I cannot say. I had a moment where I was like, do I know this? I do that. Okay. So some people have been asking me about the third Percy Jackson book and, when does it come out? And I kind of try to hedge my bets and say, all I can tell you is it's not going to be 2026 because I'm working on another project, but I haven't forgotten. It is coming out. So what can I tell you about that other project? Okay. After season 1 of Percy Jackson came out with Disney Plus, suddenly all the executives were sitting up and saying, oh my God, that did really well. We need more. What else have you got? And I was like, well, we're already talking about possible the Caves, and there's however many other books in Percy's world. But the thing about the other books is you kind of have to do the first Percy series first because they're chronological, and it really wouldn't make a lot of sense otherwise. So I said, well, there are short stories with Percy, and he said, no. What we would love to do is something that we can sort of do like they call it interstitial content, which means like between seasons. And we've got all these great sets of Camp Half-Blood that we're not using, but the actors are busy, so maybe not with Percy in it, but is there anything we could do like that? And I said, guys, I've got a million projects going on. I don't want to write another book just to write another book. I know it seems like that's what I do sometimes. But honestly, every book I write is a book I feel really good about, and it's a way for me to kind of come at Percy's world in a different way. And so I wasn't really interested, but then I got this sort of middle of the night thought, and I talked to Becky about it afterwards, and it was like, we had a really good time with Rick Riordan Presents and bringing in authors from just this wide array of cultures and backgrounds and letting them kind of have fun and tell stories like Percy Jackson. And then I took it a step further and I invited Mark into Percy's world, and we got to sort of explore it together and do a collaboration. And if you've read Son of the Star, it's not exactly, it doesn't sound like a Mark book, and it doesn't exactly sound like my books. It's something of a hybrid. So I started thinking, what if we did that in books and television at the same time? And I invited other creatives into Percy's world to create a story with me. So that got me really excited. And I don't know what will happen. I can't promise, because TV especially is really, really tough. I don't know how that will go or when it'll happen. I can tell you that the books are moving forward very quickly, and I can't tell you anything else about it, but I'm having so much fun. And I hope that soon I can tell you more, like who I'm working with and what the story is. But that is what is on my plate right now.
Say Hunters right now. Say Hunters of Artemis right now.
I think you're right. It has to be Hunters, right?
I don't know. See, the thing about the whole, like, we have these sets that we're not using really makes me feel like it's got to be characters who are within the first 5 books, whose perspectives we don't get to see, and having authors come in like Mark, like RRP authors who have more like lived experiences in common with certain characters.
No, but you're right. The sets is saying it's not Hunters. This could actually resolve a lot of things.
Selena and Charles Beckendorf.
I was going to say Clarice in book 3 is like a perfect, like, they want Dior to be booked. She's around. She's a camp person. Except they also haven't greenlit it, so then we can't bank on this for any writing in the main series yet.
I don't. My prediction based on the vague details that Rick gave is that it wouldn't be characters who we already see in the show.
Why? Yeah, interstitial is an interesting turn of phrase that is canon time constraining us in a way that's surprising to me. Like, if I were trying to do like the easiest lift, like I want to use sets, I want to write stories in this world, wouldn't you do like a prequel or something? Like, but it's interesting that I guess the Titan war looming is still going to be the context for everything, probably, right? They all know Percy and Annabeth and Grover and everybody.
I mean, it could be a day in the life of the Stoll twins wandering around Camp Half-Blood on the set that already exists.
Would be pretty sick.
You know, like it could be anything. It could be anything.
I would also, however, be surprised if Rick was like, I don't have it in me to write the Stoll twins, at least as the book side. If it sounds like the pitch also is that they're going to do tandem releases or timed coinciding releases in some way of books and TV in parallel.
My total delusion is that it's a collection of short stories co-authored by Rick and multiple authors per each individual short story that becomes like one season of shorts that premiere on Disney+.
In the style of What If, Visions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was saying. It's Star Wars Visions, like short, maybe like half hour, less than half. It could be like 10 minutes shorts of little one-off stories with different characters around Camp Half-Blood.
And low-key, these have been some of the best Disney releases on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
That like Baymax set of shorts is gaggy. It's very excellent. And they like to greenlight this kind of thing too.
It's a great way to involve other creators stepping into media, and like we want Percy Jackson to be the kind of Disney property that Star Wars is, you know?
Yeah.
So it makes sense to have all of these people come in and like touch the material in a different way and like bring all these different perspectives. Can you imagine if we got like one claymation episode? This is not the context at all because we're using things we already have. But imagine if we got like a claymation Percy Jackson episode, you know, of like Mr. D and Chiron sipping tea.
Visions is the different art styles. It's a compelling pitch. I do really see the vision. I wonder. I don't know. I do have questions about what sort of budget conversations would be happening around this. Like, are they going to try to do low budget stuff at camp? Are we going to have? Are guest actors going to sign on to this kind of? Because we've had some very
interesting
high power day players. Mm-hmm. Yes. Wow.
Yep. I'm curious. I think it's so interesting because this whole concept of like interstitial content is so important to studios right now because we're releasing these like really high budget, takes a really long time to create like high octane. What's the word I'm looking for? Like,
expensive.
Expensive.
It's money dense footage.
Artisanal TV that is great and everyone loves, but that kind of thing takes time and it's important for, you could say it's important for fans to have content. It's important for the company to keep making money in the meantime between.
It's important for everybody. You need low budget, you need mid budget, you need high budget. You need something that an early career creative can make that has an audience that you will trust them with. Both as far as the writers, but then also as someone who's like directing an episode of TV, like you should have low medium budget episodes of television for people to design their first sets for or what have you.
Disney executives listening to this, we want it to look cheap. We want it to be cheap. We want to have cheap TV in between our artisanal television.
And don't think that you can't make it the Hunters just because we're trying to use the sets. Let's reiterate on that one too.
Make it the Hunters playing basketball at Camp Half-Blood,
Yeah. Hunters prequel where they're actually doing the capture the flag and somebody dies.
Yeah.
Maybe nobody dies.
Maybe nobody dies. But we're at camp. We're at camp and we're doing the thing. That's what we would like. Maybe if it doesn't get made into a TV episode, I'm still pretty sure it's time for the
they'll still drop them
Hunters short story. Yeah. I don't think I no longer feel like I'm wrong about these things. Like 8 months ago when we were like, it's time for the Hazel book, we were right about that,
Yeah. When we said Polyphemus gay.
He is gay. We were right about that. Exactly. I no longer think I'm anything but on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
And on that topic, I wanted to say, allow me to be sincere on the internet for a brief moment. It was so special to be in a room full of gay children tonight. I just really want to say that there is nothing better for the soul than being in an auditorium full of gay children and their supportive parents who drove them to the book tour for this little gay character in this book to have like Mark on stage, having a party, talking about their youth and about, sharing like all of the things that they felt like they had in common with Nico when they first read the books and how special it is. And just like literally I was surrounded by children on all sides. And there was a particularly really invested, call it 9-year-old sitting behind me who was gasping and screaming and snapping and applauding. And just like, it was so precious to listen to all of you. Let's be honest. I forget that kids read these books all the time. I think only 26-year-olds are reading these books all the time. And then when I get to be like in person in community with everybody, it is
the book tour will remind you. Yeah.
It is so wonderful to see like kids have this experience and have this kind of an outlet. Cause like when we were that age, we didn't know Nico was gay yet. He didn't maybe even know he was gay yet,
And let's caveat it, not to whatever. Many children in the audience have varieties of experiences, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, let's be clear. I'm not saying I'm not walking up to every child in the auditorium and going, you are gay.
No,
I would never do that. I would never do that. What I'm saying is it was really nice to be.
But some of them were. Because children are gay. And children who seek out books about gay children sometimes are gay.
And Mark shared that it was really special doing The Sun and the Star and like doing school events ever since then to like know that like so many kids have come up to them and come out to them at these events. So many kids have said thank you because now I have a book that I can give to other people to like share an experience with them, you know, and say like, this is kind of what it's like for me or whatever. And it feels like in some ways we are in a worse state than we were 2 years ago when The Sun and Star came out. And like, this is even more special, you know, for this book to be here right now and for kids to read about the fact that just because certain groups of campers at Camp Jupiter are calling you a monster and an enemy does not mean that that is true. And you should not feel that way. And I'm selfishly really excited to just read this book and just kind of live in those vibes, you know? I know that these books aren't for everyone. I know that like we maybe enjoyed these books the most of anybody I know, actually, based on real life conversations I've had with friends and peers. I think that literally Carter and I enjoyed these books more than anybody else I know. And that's not me being under the boot of the mouse when I say that. I really, really like The Sun and Star, and I think I'm really going to enjoy this book too.
The mouse, I don't think, I'm going to be so real, I don't think the mouse is tuned into our book coverage interstitially. I don't think the mouse is tuned into any of our coverage, but I think they're really not tuned into our book coverage. I don't think the mouse was having an Odyssey summer with Margaret Atwood, let's say.
Well, no, the mouse was certainly not present for Margaret Atwood. Let's not be silly about that.
That all being said, we are very excited. I'm excited to find out what we're doing in Golden Gate Park and if we're going to get to the bison. That'll be fun.
I couldn't decide tonight if I was going to wear my Paramore t-shirt or my Golden Gate Park t-shirt. And I did choose the Paramore t-shirt, but I'll be wearing the Golden Gate t-shirt if we do a Mark interview in the future for this book. Keep your fingers crossed. I think that's all I've got. Let us know in the Spotify comments or join our Patreon, join the Discord. Tell us what you think might be cooking over in Riordanverse land as far as books, interstitial content, etc.
Log your predictions online before you start reading so that you can have public documentation of your prescience in the comments.
I think that the best way to end this would be to have a live reading of the 2013 Facebook post that Facebook gave me in a memory in regards to... I can't
believe you posted that on Instagram.
I actually, I went on Canva and I edited out, our other high school classmates who had commented, so it was just so I didn't, I didn't think that they needed to be involved in that. I just texted it to you, Carter.
Oh my, no, I saw the Instagram post.
I did not go searching for this. I recently re-downloaded Facebook just to use Facebook Marketplace, and Facebook has aggressive with the memories things lately.
It's because they know that it's in the past tense for everyone, and it's the only way to get the engagement, get the clicks.
Once I've sold everything I need to sell, I will be deleting the app again, but this was a really delightful memory that it forced upon me. October 16th, 2013.
We should also say Erica at this age is, can we say ages on the internet? I think age is more important than year for me. To say that we're 14.
We were 14 at the time. October 16th, 2013, Erica Ito is feeling worried. Okay, I'm just going to say this right now. I am mentally married to Nico D'Angelo. And if you know me, you know that. I also happen to be on page 30 of The House of Hades. So either shut up or shut up. Because I don't want to know what happens to my love. Okay? Okay?
You don't get to complain. Some of us are on page 0 of House of Hades. ...
Some of us have deeply rooted attachments to fictional characters. And I'm not talking John Green here.
That was a fierce read. Wow. I literally cannot read the rest of this. I have no idea what's happening.
You have to read it. You have to read it. It's part of the exercise.
Excuse you, you're not the only one with a sibling in Tartarus. Now, what did I mean by that? What is that referring to? Am I saying that my sister's in hell? Is that referring to my actual biological sibling in real life?
No, I think you're saying Annabeth is in Tartarus right now.
Oh.
And that Nico would have been in Tartarus the book before. So you're saying my sibling being Nico in Tartarus, your sibling Annabeth is in Tartarus right now. It's my interpretation of the text.
Okay, that seems plausible. Yes. Okay, my final comment is you're a sadist.
No idea.
Why? Why is she a sadist?
But the funny thing is that the whole framing of this podcast is that Carter spoiled The House of Hades for me. So this Facebook post must have been what prompted you to read the entire book in one night.
Yeah,
and then
probably.
be mean to me.
Yeah.
So we do have this Facebook post to ultimately thank for me meeting Britt
Facebook
tonight.
really did unlock something because Eric had like sent this over text a little while ago, and I did at the time I read it. I was like, whoa. I did not remember that this was a phase of that experience, that Erica had gotten the book first, starting to get into it, Facebook fights. Wow.
You know, change is
you've
good.
aged us like that, not by reading the number, but by experientially describing the phenomenon of being a 14-year-old being excited to log onto Facebook to have an emotionally relevant and current discussion in comments in front of everybody.
And that's on being genuine in the internet. Thank you all for joining us. We will be covering this book in chunks. Stay tuned on our social medias to figure out what chapters are up first. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/seaweedbrain if you want to get in on the conversation. There's also a D&D game there. There's a book club there. It's good stuff. And we'll see y'all next week.
Bye, all.
Bye.